Okay, good morning everybody. Trying to wrap up this week here. It's Friday, November 16th. As we've been saying throughout the whole week, we've been kind of just lumbering around with prices, not really going much as far as trending direction goes, other than sideways and being somewhat range bound. The overnight trade somewhat quiet again, where we're roughly unchanged in the corn market, down around 2 cents in the beans. The wheat market was down around 2 cents. The meal market, up a buck, while the soybean oil was down around 25 points. We've been alluding to three topics throughout the whole week. One of them almost becoming like what was going on with the Russians, if they are not going to be exporting wheat. That was going on roughly around a month and a half ago. Now we're going with this trade wars with the Chinese. Are they not going to come to some type of a compromise? We were getting flipping stories yesterday and overnight. And so that's becoming more and more of a thorn in the trader's side as far as what's fact and what's unreal. And that potentially can continue till the end of the month when the two sides, the U.S. and the Chinese, get together at the G20 meeting. So anyway, as we said before, even if there was some type of compromise, there are other two topics still as a weight over the marketplace, that being our export demand and or what the USDA gave us on the S&D numbers, both for the U.S. and in the world. Speaking of demand, we will be getting delayed weekly export sales coming out here shortly. They're going to become what status quo. They're looking from the neighborhood of around 500,000 tons of wheat, around 750 in the corn, roughly in the neighborhood of around 700 to 600,000 tons of beans. Once again, these numbers are pretty much just kind of status quo, nothing that's really putting a big dent in the carryout numbers that we currently have. So they're too somewhat of a weight over the marketplace. And then finally, South America, and obviously it's still early there, but once again, as we mentioned before, pretty much in a fairly good condition state. So the politics aside, the USDA and the South American conditions seemingly putting a harbinger on trying to have a sustained rally. And as we said, we may continue with this type of trend all the way till the end of the year. And for the week, we haven't closed out yet. It's been somewhat of another week of status trade. Pretty much got the corn market only down 3 cents for the week, the bean market unchanged, the meal market up a buck, the soybean oil down around 25 points, and that's been also getting beat up by the Malaysian palm oil market. Been making 3-year lows, and after having one bounce the previous night, it got hit again hard last night, down around 75 points. And this in lieu of the fact that we had our NOPA crush number that came out yesterday. The NOPA crush number came out pretty strong, with the oil stocks going down for the month, which would again give some indication of good oil demand. But here's the other important thing. As we said, our bean demand for the exports aren't being all that strong. The NOPA crush number was strong, but as you can see, with the bean market rallying and the products not keeping on up, we're at or making new lows for crushing margins. So much like our bean demand, will crush demand start to shrink going forward and also continue to inhibit getting stocks coming on down. We'll get a commitment of trade report after the close. Nothing really new there. Not really big in positions as far as stretching the size goes. Still modest net shorts, soft-red winter wheat, the beans and the soybean oil, and only small net longs in the corn and in the soybean meal. So all in all, we continue with poor demand, have a good South American crop, sideways range-bound trade. It's still a non-bullish environment going forward as we work our way through, once again, the month of November and or the calendar year. Have a good weekend, everybody. Next weekend's Thanksgiving week, so it'll be a shortened week. Have a good weekend, and once again, these are my opinions, not that of ADM or ADMIS. Thank you.